Today on HKB, we are reviewing the Unearthed Classics Blu-ray release of The Untold Story.
Welcome to Hong Kong Blu-rays. I'm Leon.
I'm Shaz. If you're new to the channel, give us a like and subscribe.
And if you're returning, welcome back. Don't forget to hit the bell to receive all notifications of our future content.
There's timestamps in the description below.
呢名女子叫 Wong。喺我哋調查。
The Untold Story was released in 1993.
The Blu-ray we have has been released by Unearthed Classics.
The disc is Region A.
And the rating is Category 3.
The running time of the film is 96 minutes.
It's a crime thriller drama.
The director is Herman Yau.
Starring in this one are Danny Lee as Officer Lee, who also produced the film,
and Anthony Wong, starring as Wong Chi-hang.
15歲流浪美國，由西岸捱到東岸。
Based on true events, a Macau restaurant owner and his family disappear. The local police are soon investigating their disappearance when human remains are washed up on a beach. Suspicions of foul play soon point to a mahjong-playing employee who has since taken over the running of the restaurant.
So, you finally watched the notorious Untold Story.
Indeed.
How did you feel about it? Because I know this isn't your wheelhouse usually.
No, I can appreciate it was a really well-made film, but the subject matter was a little difficult to watch in places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's difficult to digest if you've got delicate sensibilities.
Such as myself.
Yeah. I have to say though, this role for Anthony Wong, kind of a career-defining role. As much as he might have struggled with playing it, because of the obvious horrendous events he has to depict, and some of the scenes are beyond brutal. And I think he found this a difficult film, to get into. It's like you said.
Wouldn't they? It was pretty horrendous.
Yeah, absolutely. I know in one of the extras, he mentions he had to change his whole psychological outlook, to make it possible for him to portray this character, this role. And I think he really puts himself right inside the character. And he brings it to life in spectacular fashion. Whatever else you think of the film, you have to admire the performance by Anthony Wong. He's stellar in this. He's incredible. And through this performance, he got Best Actor Award at the 1993 Hong Kong Film Awards. And I don't think it's difficult to see why. Do you agree? Do you think his performance is right up there?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. His performance, well, it was incredible. A very difficult subject matter, what he had to do. And I feel that he delivered, we were watching it, we were sort of saying about some of the unpleasant scenes. His face really could be believable.
Yeah.
He really put himself there.
His expressions, like when he's chopping up people in certain scenes, he looks kind of disgusted as well as angry at what he's doing. And you get that real sort of calculated look from him, like he's going about business. He's doing what he needs to do. Yeah, I mean, there's other actors in this, obviously, and they're pretty good too. But it's almost like two different films when you've got the scenes with the police.
Yeah, because they're sort of happy-go-lucky, and quite a lot of comedy around their scenes, isn't there?
Yeah,
Sort of banter between policemen and female police officer as well.
yeah, like your regular Hong Kong
Yeah.
hijinks that you get in regular Hong Kong movies. But this film's far from regular. As a film, put aside the category 3 for a minute, how do you think it was shot? And what about the direction?
I thought it was shot really well.
Mhm.
Thought the direction was pretty good. Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I believe Herman Yau is a truly talented director. I know a lot of people won't have the stomach for this type of fire, but to me, you've got to put it into context. It's a film. It's very graphic. It might not be for everybody, but if you like edgy cinema, if you like things to push you, provoke you, you know, this is
certainly the film for that.
Yeah, it definitely is, and you know they've put a lot of effort into this. The actors have put themselves through a lot, so I think it deserves to be seen. I mean, even like the rape scene, as horrendous as it is,
Very uncomfortable to watch.
it is. But I would say it should be. You know, there's a lot of films where rape's portrayed, and they make it into some sort of softcore sex scene that becomes oddly enjoyable. And I don't think it should. You should feel repelled and disgusted. And, you know, that's the whole point of this film.
Yeah.
It's showing the horror of these events, you know?
And you really feel it, don't you?
Yeah. It's not glorifying it.
No.
It's there to shock you. And on that, you know, for me, this is a bit of a masterpiece. And yeah, I'm going to give you my score now. Total masterpiece. Anthony Wong. Absolutely masterful, and Herman Yau really delivers. This to me is an all-time classic category 3 film. It's a 9 out of 10.
I'm going to give The Untold Story 6 out of 10. I appreciate how well it was made, but the subject matter was a little hard for me to digest. There's quite a lot in the package on this one. We've got quite a few commentaries, haven't we?
Yeah, there's 3 separate commentaries. There's a commentary from Herman Yau, the director. There's Anthony Wong gives a commentary. And then there's a commentary with Art Ettinger and Bruce Holchek, if I get the names right.
I believe the commentaries by Anthony Wong and Herman Yau were actually done a few years back for another release, I think a DVD release.
Possibly this one, a Tai-Seng DVD, which, if you have a look, I got signed by Anthony Wong himself when I met him up in Birmingham at a Hong Kong Movie Convention. Fantastic guy, really enjoyed that day.
That was a few years back.
Yes, on a little younger day, you may have noticed. But yeah, I'd love to get him to sign the Blu-ray.
Hope so.
Yeah, never know. We have a nice slipcase as well on the Blu-ray, and there's a little flyer on the inside.
Yeah, it's a short piece. I wouldn't call it a booklet. Yeah, just a bit by Art Ettinger again.
Yeah, so there's a few words there, you know. It's nice to have any editions that you can get. There are a few more extras on the disc.
Yeah, there's questions and answers with Herman Yau. That's not very long though, was it? It's about 10 minutes?
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Pretty short, but it's nice to have, you know. Any extras you can have, always welcome. We've got a series of trailers. The isolated score, you can watch the movie too. And but the real winning piece of this package is there's a cat-free documentary.
Yeah.
How good was that?
That was really, really interesting. It did cover several films, not just this one, but we've seen a lot of them, haven't we? So it was really interesting hearing from different people involved in those films and what have you. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Josie Ho in there.
Yeah.
And director Daniel Chan. So, you know, there's a lot of interesting people and a lot of interesting views. Anthony again turns up. Would it be fair to say that you probably enjoyed the documentary more than the film?
Um,
Or maybe not?
yeah, maybe in a weird
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just found it so interesting.
Yeah, it really covered, the history of cat-free. It even went into talking about some of the Shaw Brother films like Killer Snakes, so on and so forth, to, give you an overall view of where it might stem from.
And it was almost an hour and a half, so it's a full-length documentary.
Yes, with that in mind, we're going to give the package 4 out of 5 stars. And we nearly forgot, there's also an interview with Rick Baker. What was it called, Shaz?
Cantonese Carnage. It was just under 15 minutes long, but that was a nice little extra as well.
Yeah.
The picture quality on this disc we thought was really good, didn't we?
Stunning, absolutely fantastic. If you was to put this in a side-by-side comparison with the DVD that I showed earlier, night and day.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Night and day. I thought the picture in this was absolutely outstanding. Really nice HD print. You agree?
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. We're both as happy as can be with this disc, picture-wise. That's why it's going to get 5 out of 5 stars. So the audio tracks on this were both mono. We had a Cantonese and a Mandarin track. We only listened to Cantonese one, but it's pretty good.
Definitely. Yeah, the music as well sounded really good on the mono soundtrack. Yeah, I thought it was really good as well. So we're going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. As this is a Western release, there's only English subtitles on it. If it was released in Hong Kong, there probably would have been, some Chinese subtitles as well. But the English subtitles were really clear, good pace, excellent, really. So we're going to give them 5 out of 5 stars.
So, needless to say, standout performance is Anthony Wong, because the film is all about his character and his portrayal is massive. Besides Anthony, who else do you think deserves a mention?
The lady who had the awful rape and murder scene.
Julie Lee, yeah.
Julie Lee, that's it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought she really kept it together in that scene, because that must have been horrific, being the victim there. Yeah, I thought she was really good.
That was a brave performance from her.
Yeah.
It must have been quite harrowing to shoot that scene. And there's like full nudity in that scene as well. Usually in a lot of these cat review films, you can appreciate, the beauty and the bodies of these actresses. And she is pretty stunning, don't get it wrong, but that is kind of swallowed up by the whole horror of the scene. And she does a terrific performance portraying that scene, thumbs up to her. Must have been a tough job, but, she did really well. I'd also like to mention as well, there is a scene, another distasteful one, surprise, surprise, where some children, whole family gets murdered. The children, fantastic, I thought, in this scene. I mean,
they were all quite young children. It's not like it was older children, little kids, really. Shocking and horrendous.
Yeah, and they somehow managed to get a really convincing performance out of them. Good job, kids. I was impressed. Really added to the gravity of the situation and the horror of the film. What else stood out in the film to you? Was there anything particular about Anthony's look that you thought?
Oh yeah, his glasses. They really made him look creepy. Sort of added to the sort of feeling that he was a bit weird, a bit dodgy.
Yeah, his persona, the whole look. I mean, whether the actual murderer looked like that, I don't know. But it certainly works, doesn't it, for the film? You know, it's a specific look that we've seen portrayed on many other films and many other covers, you know, and to help sell the films. Yeah, Bun Man himself. Speaking of which, the pork buns. Oddly, after watching this film, you really wanted to make some.
I did, yeah.
I'm not going to lie, that worried me a little bit. Yeah. The physical effects, though, for the mincing up of the human bodies and the chopping up, how did you cope with that and what did you feel about it?
Yeah, a bit horrible, really.
Was it done well? Did it look effective?
Yeah, of course. It looked convincing.
Yeah. It was, some of it I think looked a tiny bit rubbery, but, you know, it was detailed and there was like a mix of animal body parts.
I was going to say, they said in one of the commentaries that they used, you know, animal body parts.
Yeah. So it's probably a little more realistic than other films we've seen this sort of nature. And we should probably also mention the opening of this film. There was a particularly big stunt.
Yeah, awful.
Yeah,
where Anthony Wong's character with someone else having a dispute over winning some McDonald things, isn't it? And massive argument, you know, gets violent, and then Anthony Wong's character sets this guy on fire, pouring petrol over him. Well, I assume it was petrol. I think it probably was. And I just couldn't believe the stunt, because whoever the person was, I don't know if they were doubled, but his face wasn't covered at all unless he had that liquid that they put on, where, you know, or is it an oil? I don't know, something they put on you.
Protective gel, like fire resistant, heat resistant gel. I mean, he was on fire for a considerable amount of time.
Quite a few seconds.
And that wasn't mentioned in the commentaries, as far as I noticed. And it was pretty impressive, spectacular. So we're mentioning it. That was awesome.
Horrible as well.
Yeah, it was horrible, horrific, but that's a great shock to start the film off with. Yeah,
it shows you what that guy is capable of.
Yeah,
really, I guess how brutal he is, and I think the thing we sort of gathered as well is that he sort of thinks it's normal to him.
Yeah, you know,
that's what I do.
He's completely justified in everything he
does. You accuse me of cheating with John, and well, there you
go. Just desserts.
Crazy.
When the police are trying to get out of him what happened to the family and everything, they managed to lock him up in jail for a little bit.
Yeah, you were disputing as to how, if that was realistic, whether or not that could have really happened.
Yeah, because everything else seemed pretty procedural, didn't it? Like how maybe they got him on something just like the way he was behaving and causing an uproar or suspicion, but they managed to shove him in jail. And did you notice we had a familiar face from one of our prior reviews, Horrible High Heels, turn up? Yeah, and he's kicking the shit out of Anthony in this, isn't he? Good to see Shin Wong, always like him, great character. You know, almost as big a villain as Anthony, or some would say he is. I don't know, you know, depends on your preference. So yeah, it was good to have him in there as well. We really like the music in this film, as we mentioned in the audio. The soundtrack, you know, really quite unsettling, and
really added to the
ambience,
atmosphere. I think it made the tension worse.
So
very unsettling.
Yeah, definitely. To wrap this up, Shaz, would you recommend this film to anyone?
I personally probably wouldn't, but then I don't think certainly not to family members
or your friends, like
no, I don't think so. But I think for someone that really likes a category 3 films, they probably want to own this one.
Yeah, I agree. This film isn't for everybody, you know. Be aware of that. If you're thinking about buying this and you just want an Anthony Wong film that shows off his acting, you might consider a different film. But if you do like your character review films, if you're not afraid of an edgy film, if you want to explore just how harsh cinema can be, you know, this is a great film. And I would recommend it to Hong Kong movie fans, especially the category 3 genre. And yeah, if you are a fan, I would say get yourself a copy. We got ours off Amazon Prime, and we'll put a link down. I think it was about £25.
Yeah.
About £25 including postage. So yeah, we'll leave a link in the description. So should you want to, you can click on that and make a purchase. The decision is yours.
We hope you have enjoyed our review of The Untold Story, the winner of our recent Instagram poll.
And leading on from that, our next review will be The Magnificent Butcher, starring Sammo Hung. That took second place, and we're looking forward to doing that one.
We'd like to thank all of our subscribers and followers on social media. Your support means a great deal to us. Thank you very much.
And remember, folks, be true and buy the blue.